Okay, good morning everyone. So today we are going to do the last tutorial of Rhino Grasshopper Firefly. And for this time we're going to combine with the Rhino model to set up the scene like this kind of sunset, and also using Rhino Grasshopper to create the ocean wave. So for now, as far as you can see, here is the result. Okay, so also let's take a look of the final script. It sounds crazy, but actually it's pretty simple. The things I did actually is to create at least 6 different curves, and using these 6 different curves to create the spectrums, and using the spectrum to create the wave-like geometries. So that's the final result. And I will start to record so that it will not affect my computing power. Okay, so first things we need to do for sure is to set up the display mode of the Rhinoceros. Let's go to Options, View, Display Mode, Shading Mode. As far as I can see for now, first things, the background color is from deep gray to black, and I don't like that one. So rather than this one, I'd like to set this one to orange to probably deep red color. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to do. And once you finish, click OK. So now we have the background, something like this. The second thing we need to do, I will turn off that one. The things we want to do is to create a sphere, a circle. You can choose sphere as well, but this time I will choose just a circle. And that's just using draw circles right here. And you can draw it everywhere, but usually probably I will just choosing the 0 point, and so I will type in 0, 0, 0, 0. And you can choose in the size you want, probably just maybe 45, too small. Okay, maybe just do that manually. Once you finish, type in planar surface to create a solid surface and move that one out. Right now we have this one. And in order to change the color right here, we need to create a new layers right here. So let's create a new layer, and we can ignore the 60 layers. I will call this one 01 sun, and I will call this one 2. And select the surface, right click on this layer, change object layer, and also change the display color, because for now we're going to using display mode. Right now we are under the shady display mode right here, so we need to change the display color right here. Let's change this one to red one. So now as far as you can see, we have a red circle. And let's go to object property right here, object property, and turn off the ISO curve, so we will not see the ISO curve anymore. We don't need the curve anymore, so let's just delete this one and rotate our song into 90 degrees. Okay, and next part we're going to do is to create the surface as the oceans. So let's go to surface, and I will choose in corner to corner, and just draw any shape you want. And let's create a second layer, 02, oceans, and right click on this layer, change object layer, change the display color into light blue, click OK. Now we have this one, and move this one to the position we want. I prefer probably just like this, it will be fine. Again, go to the object and turn off the surface ISO curve, and now we have this one. I will just hide the original one so it will not affect our operations. And also let's turn off the random grasshopper. And as far as you can see, right now we have a surface as the ocean and the circle as the sun. And so that the following part is that we need to create the spectrums. So in order to create spectrum, this time I'd like to draw the spectrum just inside Rhinosys. So let's click polyline and choosing let's choose in this one, or maybe you can choose in another one. Hold on Shift key so that you can draw a vertical line, just like this one. Okay, and I'd like to use in divide. Divide this one into 6 sections. Okay, so now as far as you can see, this line has been divided into 6 sections. Let's draw using the polyline again to draw the horizontal line. Choosing this one, type in copy, and copy for 6 times. Okay, so now we have 6 lines. We don't need this one, the vertical line anymore. We can just delete the line and the vertex. Select all of them, create a new layer, type in 03 lines, put all of them inside. So the basic setting has been done. Okay, so once we finish the basic setting, let's start to using random grasshopper. Let's turn on random grasshopper. So let's explain again. This is the motivations of the script. We're using this one to extract the data of the song. And then the next part actually is pretty much the same thing. We import the curve, the six curves, and then we divide them into multiple sections. We move the sections based on the volume of the song. And then we need to do using this moving section to recreate different pipeline. And finally, using this pipeline or using this pipeline line to rejoin them and create a new curve. And using this new curve to create a surface. And finally, to gradient to give this surface color. So that will be our result. Okay, let's start to do the coding. I will turn off this one so that it will not appear us. And also, meanwhile, for this part, including the sound captures, trigger, and the new time, the old version names timer, number slider, and the data recorder, I will not redo them. So let's just copy, Ctrl C and Ctrl V for copy the code part. But we still can do a note on the side. So let's type in scribble and call this one input sound. And the next part we are going to do, very important, we need to import these 6 curves. So let's go to curve and let's copy for 6 times. Ctrl C and Ctrl V. Okay. Let's do some layout for this component. Right click and select one curve. Let's select each by each. One by one. Okay, so now we have finished the selections. We don't need to see them anymore inside Grasshopper, so let's just hide them. As far as you can see, because we have all already import them into Rhino Grasshopper, so they will just appear right here. And for this one, that's the old model, so we can just move them into another layers. Let's just move them, change object layer, so we will not see them anymore. Okay, so next part actually is pretty simple. Let's just using this curve. And next, the things we need to do is to divide them. And the divided number we can define later. Anyway, let's just go to divided. We can go to curve and choosing divided curve, or just double click on empty space, type in divide curve right here. So let's connect the curve to this part and Ctrl C, Ctrl V for copy. And again 6 times. Actually, it's not a very good way to do graphic coding because we need to repeat the over operations. So if we want to optimize this visual script, we can try to think about how to make the graphic script more simple. So for example, this part could be just integrate as one or something. But anyway, for now, it's better to using the complicated one because it's easier for you guys to understand. And double click, now we need to define the number of the divided points. So let's double click on empty space and type in, probably 30 will be quite enough. And this time, the number I was just choosing 20. If you choose more, it will be more complicated and also heavy computing for your laptop. Let's connect this part to numbers. So now we can use this slider to control the number of the points on the curve. Okay. And next part, right here, if you remember, we're using the data recorder to record the number of data. So every 10 seconds or every 20 seconds, we can record 20 data or 10 data. So let's right click on this component and go to record limitations. And this time I will choose in 20. So it will, for now it looks fine. Next part, the things we need to do this area. So we are going to move the vertex on the divided point, on the divided curve, and based on the value of the sum. So in order to do that, we are going to using again the little trick right here, using multiplications on math sections later. That's right here. Multiplications, this one, this component. So let's just connect this one, connect the data to here. And usually our voice actually is pretty loud, like okay 200, 300, so it's super large. So in order to adjust the number of the moving vector, we need to do multiplications. So probably this part I would just choosing maybe 10 and change this slice typer to floating points. And for the first one, I would just choosing maybe 0.5, not too large, otherwise it will be super huge, and the height of the wave will jump too high. So it will become very crazy and too wide. That's not the things I want. And the second, let's copy again for 6 times. C, Ctrl V, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. And probably the second one could be maybe smaller. Let's just give the one 0.3, and this one 0.7, and this one 0.6, and this one 0.25. Okay, so now we have all these parameters. Next part, if you remember, the things we need to do is to create the move component. Let's type in move right here. And the geometry is right here. So that's the geometry we are going to move. Let's connect this one to the geometries. And for this part, if you just directly move here, it will become error because we haven't defined the vector yet. So let's go to vector, go to unit Z right here, and we are going to move them up. So let's just connect the vector to the motions and connect it and define the number. So for now, you can see it has been moved up. Let's Ctrl C, Ctrl V for 6 times again. And connect this one to here. And this one is the last one. So just based on the sequence to do the connection, okay? It looks complicated, but actually it's super simple. So we're using, it's supposed to look like a symmetry diagram. The first one match with the first one. The fifth one match with the fifth one. So very easy. Okay. So now we have the geometry like this. For now, as far as you can see, all of them have been moving up and based on different height. But if we just do things like this, the wave direction will always move in the same. The wave will always move in the same direction. So in some part, I want to reverse the data sequence. And how can we do that? Actually, very easy. We can just go to here and find the sequence. And to find the, I think it's about reverse. And if you don't want to do that, let's just, if you don't want to do using a GUI to find that one, the reverse list right here, you can just type in reverse right here, reverse the list. So with this one, for example, I want the second one be reversed. Let's connect this one. And I also want the fourth one be reversed. And the final one, the sixth one, I want that one be reversed. So let's connect this a reverse component to 2, 4, 6 component. Okay, so now we have the moving text and also we have the base curve. Well, we need to rejoin them as one curve, so let's go to curve right here. Let's take a look. We need to call out the polyline so that we can reconnect all these points as a new polyline. So let's call out the polyline. Polyline right here. And if you want, want to use a GUI user interface, it's right here. Let's connect the geometry to here. Again, for now, we still need them separated. Otherwise, when we are going to use in loft to join that to create a new surface, we don't know which one will be matched with the target ground lines. So for now, we still need to using to create the component for each curve. And now we can turn off the preview of the other sections. And let's turn on the data recorder. Let's move. Let's turn on the data recorder. So for now, as far as you can see, your wave has started to move. Okay, cool. So the next part, the things we're going to do, let's turn off this one, turn off the time trigger. We can turn off the preview right here as well. Right click and turn off the preview. And the curve as well. We don't need to see them anymore. Okay. So now the next thing we need to do is to using the lines to create the surface. So this time I'm going to join them together to join the curve right here with the target curve, and then using loft right here, the loft key. Not here. Let's find out where is the loft. Right here. we are going to using loft to create the surface. Inside Rhino Grasshopper, the loft is a little bit weird because actually the loft is more like the boundary surface or patch surface inside Rhinosys, and the real loft is way more similar to this one, the road surface. We can use in two curves to create the surface. So you can choose both of them. But for this one, for example, you need to connect the A part and the B part. And oh, sorry, not this one. We have to connect here. So now you can see you will have a curve. And for this one, if you want to do that, if you just direct hold on Shift key and to join them together, it will not work. Okay? It cannot work because you don't know Rhinosys don't know what kind of curve you want to join and what kind of curve you want to do the loft. So before you do that, we need to double click and call out join curve right here and join the curve together. Let's connect the dots to here and then join them here. So you can choose both of them. Both of them will be fine. It doesn't matter. The result is the same. So probably we can just use in this one, the rule surface. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, connect the second one to B, and choosing the second curve to the A. Now we will have another surface. Let's turn on the preview so that you can see the result. The following is just the repetitions, so I will do that in a very quick way. Okay, so now let's turn off the polyline. We don't need to see that anymore. And we can turn on the trigger. So for now we have the oceans. Cool, right? And last part, similar stuff. We need to coloring the surface based on the size of the area. So very simple. For now we have multiple curves. I want to put all of them into one component. Let's go to surface right here and just hold on Shift key so that you can do multi connections. And we can turn off them right here. Right click and turn off the preview. We don't need to see that anymore because for now we have this one. And go to, you can just choose in the surface and area. And let's analyze the area size. Let's take a look of the reference. We need to flat them so that we can we can make a sequence for this group. And then using the bound to create a domain and extract the maximum number and the minimum number from the construct domain and connect them to the gradient color and using the custom preview to do the final rendering. So that's the same logic. Let's do that, okay? First thing is let's go to the stage, flatten the data tree right here and go to I think it's under mask and go to bound to create using this data sequence to create a domain. Deconstruct the domain, extract the start number and the end number. And finally, let's go to display. You can call out the gradient color. And I will just type it here, gradient. You can change the color. Probably here is the blue, commit change. And here is deep blue, commit change. And if you want, let's just use this one, start number and end number, and let's connect the and let's call out the customer preview right here. Okay, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, move them here, Here's the material, and we're going to call out the geometry here. And also let's connect let's define the in-between number. So let's connect the surface to here. Okay, let's turn off the surface right here, turn off the preview, and let's turn on this one. So now we have the color for the wave. Let's turn on the result, and okay, so let's make it moved a little bit slower, but actually, yeah, you can see the wave is moving. It looks good. And so the next part, the things we need to do, let's turn off the trigger. First things I want to do is that I want to set the camera for this view. So let's go to set view, name view, and create a view which name sunset. Click OK. Alright, so every time, no matter how you rotate, you just click, it will go back to here. So you will not move. The next thing is that inside parentheses we have the grid, the coordinate, and I want to turn off that when I was record the video. Let's go to options and go to your random options, grid, and you can turn off show grid axis, show world grid axis icon right here, and click OK. So now you will not see that anymore. Double click, go back to your view, and we can turn on full screen. That's very important. When you are going to record your video, make sure you have turned on this one and turn off the grid. And now we can start record. Okay, this is the result. Alright, not so bad. But this part probably there's something wrong here. But to fix that, it's very simple. Let's just check. This is the third curve, and let's just take a look of the third curve. Right here. Let's turn off the trigger. And let's turn on the third curve preview. Probably we still have to turn on that so that we can see. Hello? Does that work for you? Okay, right here. I think probably that's because we're using the smooth curve to connect with the polyline. So in order to fix that, we can just transform this one as a poly curve. So why it becomes something like that? That's because the direction of the curve become a little bit different. And also we can make this one, make the third curve become a polyline. So I think through this way we can totally fix the problem right here. So let's go to the set and list, reverse the list first. So for the third one, let's connect the point to here. And then it's using polyline again. Okay, connect them to here. And rather than just using the curve right here, and we can use in this way, and this way it will be way more safe. And let's turn off the preview. And if your laptop becomes super lagging, just like mine, probably we can decrease the number of the divisions. So this time I will change this one to 15. And for data recorder as well, let's change this one to just 15. Commit change. Let's delete all of them and turn on the timer, the trigger. So as far as you can see, for now I think it looks fine. It doesn't have that kind of weird sections anymore. Okay, so that's all about the tutorial for today. Thank you for watching. See you next time.